I'd like to talk to you today about these sleeves. These are covers that you can slip over a Panasonic DR60 or a Panabox to keep the paint from scratching, and some people just like the look. But there's a few things you need to know if you're going to try and find one of these for your Panabox or your DR60. And the first thing I need to tell you is that the DR60 never came with a sleeve. These were strictly meant for the radios. So if you're trying to find one, you're going to have to try and find a radio that's got a sleeve with it. When these were first sold, they were sold in boxes like this. And this is a brand new radio. You can tell it's got the decal on it. And inside these boxes was the radio, the sleeve, and the instructions. And you can see that this sleeve has two punched holes in the front and this one doesn't. That's because there's two different kinds of sleeves. So it's really important that if you're looking for one of these sleeves that you get the right one. And if you're looking for a sleeve for a DR60, you have to make sure that you get the thinner sleeve, the one with the two holes punched in the front. Otherwise, if you get this one for a DR60, it's just going to be too big. It'll just fall off. So the first thing you've got to do is look at your Panabox and see what model you have. This one here is an NT800R. So the 800R belongs to a group of 3 thicker radios. By thicker, I mean this thickness right here. And because they're thicker, they've got a thicker sleeve. And also they have a different configuration of the buttons on the back. So you'll notice that there's a hole punched here, and there's a big hole area here. That's how you can tell if you've got the thicker sleeve. So let's say you take a look on the back and you've got a 200R. Well, the 200R belongs to a group of 4 thinner radios that have the thinner sleeve. And this thinner sleeve will fit a DR60. I've got a DR60 here. I'm just going to slip this on. And you can see that the buttons are accessible. And on the back, you can see that these little buttons are accessible. Now I realize there's a little slot here that doesn't work with the DR60. That doesn't really matter, but the reason for that slot is some of these radios, as a matter of fact, this radio right here has a little retractable button that was meant for the earphone that was in here. When you push that, the earphone retracted back. So that's why it's got that little slot cut out. So where can you find these sleeves? Well, you can look on eBay or some other place where you can buy these, and you can look for the radio, and sometimes they've got these sleeves advertised in the ad. So it's really important that you find what model you have of I should say of radio, because they start out as radios and I convert them to a Panabox. But if you do have a Panabox, you're going to look at that model. You're going to try and find a matching model on, let's say, eBay. And then you're going to try and make sure that there's a sleeve in the ad. These radios with the sleeves usually go somewhere between $30 and $100. And I realize that's a lot of money to spend for a sleeve, but you also get the radio, and the radio can act as spare parts for you. It's amazing how many parts you can pull off that radio. And, well, first of all, you can obviously use to replace parts for your Panabox, but they also match the DR60s. So I'm going to do a future video showing you all the parts that you can pull off one of these thinner radios and put on a DR60. Now, as you can see in front of me, I have a whole bunch of sleeves, which is great. But unfortunately, the sleeves that I have are all the thicker ones. And so these will not work for the DR60. Actually, there's one DR60 one there, but that's the brand new one that came in that case. So if you've got one of these thicker Panaboxes and you want one of these sleeves, just reach out to me and I'll send one of these to you. But if you're looking for the other sleeve for the thin Panabox or for the DR60, unfortunately, I don't have enough to hand out right now. You can always check back with me later. You never know. Sometimes when I buy these radios to convert them, I get an extra sleeve and I give those away. So check with me first before you go and buy a radio with the sleeve on some place like, eBay. Anyway, I hope this has been helpful. And I don't know if you like the sleeve or not. I don't use them, but if you like them, that's how you find the right sleeve for your unit and where to get them.